If you don't have procedures written down, you don't have a business. I mean, it doesn't how you cut it. If you're really basing your business on a personality. And most of the businesses I see are kind of like that. They've got an owner or an owner and his wife and a trusty person and 2 or 3 staff. And what's happened is they've kept all of that knowledge and information and have said to themselves, well, there's only a few of them. Why should we write this down? But it makes it almost impossible to sell or very difficult to sell unless the business is very simple. And an example of that is right now, I've taken over a business where there was nothing written down at all. And when I actually had the assumption that there was, but it is what it is. And what I've done, the very first thing I've done is every morning, the first thing I do is start to create the culture. There's a 9 o'clock meeting. We start and we have a meeting and we start with what were the wins for yesterday, and we go through a checklist of things that they are giving us feedback to, what they're finding difficult, what questions they have, what we're trying to accomplish that day, what we're trying to accomplish that week. And then for the first week, myself and the manager sat side by side with them, watched what they did and mapped it out just by hand, just with a pen and paper, and wrote it down. Step 1, step 2, step 3. Then the next step is to actually try and do it on a Zoom call. So rather than sit side by side with somebody, you get on a call like this and you record the call and you start to map out the process. And there's lots of free software out there that you can use to put it in little blocks. And then the next step that we will be doing is each of those blocks will go very granular and create even more blocks. And then eventually, when I'm happy that the process has been completely mapped out, we'll start recording videos. So every step, and I'm talking about so granular, it's you get the iPhone and show me how you turn on the computer. Show me how the phone system works. Because when you get a new member of staff and they sit down, it's like a big rock just sitting on the chair. They don't know. You can't assume they know how to switch on the computer. You can't assume, they might fumble around looking for it, or they can't assume what software you need. So there is a process how to onboard somebody, but it all starts with clearly mapping out exactly what that person does and get in is as granular as you possibly can. You can never have too much process and procedures. I once asked an expert on making processes if I was getting too granular, and he said, you probably are at this stage and you can get there, but other than myself, I've never seen anybody get too granular with processes. And it saves you time, money, and energy. When you employ a new member of staff, if you've got nothing in place, it's probably going to be 3 to 6 months before they're effective. If you've got everything in place, they're going to be effective in 3 to 4 weeks. That's the difference. It saves money. If you like this tip, don't forget to subscribe and give me some feedback. Thanks for listening.